Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be chatting all things winter fashion as I run you through my most worn items for winter. Now I'm based in the Southern Hemisphere, which means that this is going to be what I wore and repeat through the months of June to August. And I have done a blog post Substack on this already. I'll link that down below. I know that this is so helpful for those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere and just thinking about the core items you need to have in your closet for the season ahead. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere like me, my spring most worn is coming over on Substack and on my website. I will link everything that I can down in the description box below. I think about 95% of these items are still available, unlike my autumn capsule. And we're going to start with my most worn top. And this was actually quite interesting to me because I have started visually cataloging all of my outfits as opposed to doing this manually. I'm using Index, which is a digital wardrobe cataloging app. I'm actually a stylist on the platform too, but I am a true user. I log into the app every single day. I'm actually obsessed. But when I was running the numbers on my most worn tops, what occurred to me is that really I lean in on basics, that when it comes to my most worn top, I'm not too bothered, especially in winter. I'm not too bothered about the details. As long as it is keeping me warm and serving as that good underlayer, that's all I need from it. Now, of course, there are going to be exceptions, but it does explain why my most worn top for winter was this fine knit merino long sleeve from Arket. Now, if you can't get access to Arket, COS do the exact same thing. They're sister brands, so you actually will find that there's a bit of crossover between COS and Arket, at least for these basic pieces. Now, the things I really like about this are that it does have a slightly sheer quality, but nothing that feels overly vulgar. You can just wear a nude color bra underneath and you won't be able to see, which I really like. The fine merino knit is very comfortable against the skin. It does not feel itchy at all. It launders really well. I just put it in the washing machine on a wool wash setting in a garment bag. Always comes out looking perfect. I've not had any issues with holes, and I have multiple colors of these and the COS ones, and there have been zero problems with either. You do have to hang dry these as opposed to putting them in the dryer. I do hang dry, I would say 99% of my clothing anyway, but I did just want to mention that from a clothing care perspective. But these are fabulous, and I do tend to size up. So I wear a medium, and the reason why I do this is I find my true size tends to be quite form-fitting, and that's fine if that's what you're after, but personally I like to wear these just as a top on their own, in their own right. And the reason why I place so little emphasis on the top that I'm wearing is because my third piece, the outer layer, the jacket, tends to be the outfit, and I'll also end up judging my outfit with accessories and just the overall general styling. So at least in the winter months, tops are my lowest priority item. My most worn knit was a repeat from autumn winter. It is this oversized roll neck sweater from the Frankie shop. And what was interesting about this one for me is that I've actually been doing a bit of a review of the type of necklines that I tend to favor for myself. This is something I will often repeat with clients, and I'll tell them to consider this when they are buying anything new. And what I know is I favor a crew neck over all else. If I'm wearing a V-neck, which I wear very rarely, I need it to be quite nice and tight. And then a roll neck I'll often avoid as well because it is just a lot of bulk around the neck, and I don't love that, especially with my hair. So it was kind of unusual, I think, to see how much I reach for this over all others. I think the reason being is that it's very, very comfortable. It's a merino and cotton blend, and it's actually reasonably robust as well. I haven't really noticed any pilling or anything like that on it. I love the oversized Scandinavian style fit. It just felt slouchy, easy, and it could be dressed up with a pair of tailored trousers. I do wish that I bought the crew neck version of this, and actually in autumn I think my other most worn item, if memory serves me, was a cashmere sweater from Quince, the boyfriend, and I am wondering if I let go of this, even though I love it, just so that I can wear the Quince one more. And thinking about the purpose that your items play in your wardrobe is a great way to really stop yourself from accumulating too many of like-for-like items that are essentially doing the same thing. Should we break things up with an accessory? I think so. Okay, so most worn accessory would have to be my Anderson's leather belts. I really, really adore these. I have on the mock croc leather one right now. I'm not sure if they have the brown available, but I'm pretty sure it's still out in the black. And then we have the black pebble grained leather one, which I've had for, I want to say 3 years now. I do want to touch on the quality of these. So the leather has softened up so beautifully, and these are very comfortable to wear. I really like the actual width of the belt too. I think it is just the right size, especially to fit in most belt loops. I don't like anything that is too skinny. I'd say probably the only major wear and tear that I've noticed is on the buckle. I haven't seen this kind of replicated so far on my brown version, but on the black in particular, almost all of the gold plating, this is gold plated bras, has worn off, and I'm actually starting to see now that some of that plating is chipping away and revealing the brass underneath. So I suspect at some point I may need to get this to be repaired and have the buckle replaced. On sizing, I do have both of these in a 70, though I think a 75 probably would be better. I believe a 70 is more of an extra small, whereas a 75 is a typical size small. But they are really beautiful belts. The leather is wonderful. Just you can expect the hardware to start to deteriorate over time and with prolonged use. Most worn jeans are my way high jeans from Everlane in the straight style. I will say that these are probably some of the best jeans that I own, and there's a reason why I keep going back to them over and over again. They have a little bit of stretch, which makes them incredibly comfortable to wear, and they do come in varying leg lengths, which makes them perfect for those of you who are taller or shorter, as it means that the likelihood for needing to get them tailored is diminished, which I appreciate. I find that they fit a little bit on the larger side. So I have the 25 long and I am usually a 26. My inseam to the top of my ankle bone is 69 centimeters, in case that's helpful if you want to get a sense of where they might fall on you. But I love the high rise because it really is a true high rise for someone like me who has a longer torso and then shorter legs for their height. I'm 172 centimeters or 5'8" tall. Now I will say I don't think that you need to spend a lot of money to get a good pair of jeans. Probably some of my favorite jeans that I bought from the high street have to come from H&M. I'm wearing H&M jeans right now. They're incredibly comfortable, though they do run long, so you will have the added cost of having to get them tailored if you are shorter and they don't offer that varying leg length. But I mean, the Everlane ones, they are good, and anyone I know who has these absolutely loves them. They say they're some of the best. And there is this guy whose name escapes me right now, but he designed the Danielle jean for Kate. He's designed some of the most iconic denim styles, and he works with Everlane on their jeans. So now knowing that, understanding that, I can really appreciate why Everlane jeans are as good as they are. So yeah, definitely ones that you can't go wrong. A nice long straight leg. They're gonna make your legs look really long, perfect for wearing with boots or even a flat, so you still get a lot more coverage on the foot. You can wear a little sock with a loafer. I mean, very, very good. Now, most worn trousers, I did a video a little while back, which I'm going to link in the cards, and it was basically trends versus IRL. So are people wearing the trends we're seeing all over social media in real life? And what I found was that for the large part, no, unless it was something that was quite easy to adopt or that felt relatively classic in the core element of it, then most of the time it wasn't being adopted, at least at a large scale. So we're seeing these real pockets online that make it feel like it's everywhere. And so I guess the thing for trousers that we're seeing a lot of is that fluid long drape trouser, which I personally love. They're really leg lengthening. But the most worn trouser for me for winter were my tapered pants from Dish. They're in a charcoal grey, really, really easy to wear. They kind of pair well with everything. Charcoal grey is a great neutral. If you find that black is just a little bit too high contrast for you, then I find this is a nice option instead of navy if you don't love wearing navy. But they do have a slightly cropped fit, and to me this is the type of trouser that probably we saw a lot more of pre-2020, and I'm really enjoying the fact that this style seems to be coming back around again. I will say it does tend to highlight the hips a little bit more, so if that's something you're conscious of, then you probably won't love a tapered pant as much as a straight leg, but I do think these are really good. And Dish trousers I love in general because of the fact that they are reasonably easy to care for. You can put them in the washing machine, and these ones haven't pilled at all. I have had some pilling issues with the Rowan pant, but I still love them. I just give them a little bit of a tidy up with my fabric shaver and then they're like new. I find these do fit true to size. I got the AUA or US4, but I would say they fit on the smaller end of the scale for Dish trousers. I do have to apologize if you can hear any background noise. There's construction going on across the road, but I'm just going to carry on. So let's talk about another accessory, my most worn bag of the season. And I think if you watch or consume any of my content, especially my daily outfits on TikTok, then it will be no surprise that it was my Madewell bucket tote. Now, I have been talking about the many fabulous benefits of this bag since I got it early this year, and it is hands down probably one of my favorite bag additions of the year. I love the strap detail with the buckle. I think this is incredibly chic. The fact that you can fit a laptop in it, so I often use this when I'm traveling because it does just house everything in it very nicely. You can adjust the strap too, and it does work as a crossbody, though I find for me it sits a little bit high up, so I personally just prefer to wear it on the shoulder. This is an excellent option if you want a baby bag that doesn't look like a baby bag. No, it doesn't have any interior compartments, but you can easily organize all the things you need by putting things into pouches, and that's what I often did. I really dislike the idea of buying something that is only going to work for a very short period in your life. So things that can work for then and beyond, that's the ideal scenario for me. The leather quality is really nice. It's very, very soft, and it's softened even more since I have been using it. I've used this probably more than 60 times at this point. My only thing is I took my kids to the park, so I use this whenever I've got my kids, and my son decided to grab the bag because I had left it on the ground, and he pulled it along gravel, and so now I've got two rather big scuffs here on the base. And there is a girl on Instagram who goes and repairs, replenishes, revives old Coach bags. It's kind of her thing, and I feel like maybe it's emboldened me a little bit, but I feel like possibly I could give it a go of trying to repair this myself. So if you have any products or any tips that you want to share with me, if you are someone who has worked with leather, I would love to know. But this bag is so worth it, and if I could, I would probably buy it in every single color. Most worn skirt is my Goelia trouser skirt. I have been wearing this so much over the past year since adding it to my closet. I have worked with Goelia a lot over the past sort of 18 months, and this is just a really good classic piece. Again, I've mentioned this before, but I have definitely made some compromises when it comes to fabric composition in my wardrobe. Because I've got young children, I need to make sure that my clothing is robust enough and that it can actually do the job that it needs. It's easy to care for, and so it's one of the reasons why I wear a lot of darker colors, but also why things like polyester tend to work quite well for me as well, because they're durable and I know that they're gonna hold up. So this has gotten a little bit of pilling over time, but I did use my fabric shaver to kind of fix it up. I really like the elasticated panel at the back. Great if you do tend to bloat throughout the day. It's also got the belt loop, so you can easily give it a little bit more polish. And this is a bit of a year-round piece for me. It has side slits, so it means you get that airflow as you're moving around. Really classic. The kind of column style shape tends to lend itself well for adding refinement to your outfits while still feeling very easy to style. Okay, and then we'll move on to coats, then we'll do shoes and one more accessory. So most worn jacket of winter was my trench coat, and I swear every single time I wear this, someone always asks me about it, and I can understand why, because it is a very good trench. It is from Kinder Salmon. This you can save a little bit on using my discount code, which I have down below, but I love the color of it. Also, don't be deceived by the color on the model, because I will link the exact one. It comes off a little bit darker on the website than it is in real life. I would say it's showing up pretty true to color here. I love the fit of this because it feels very intentional. It feels styled, designed, because it isn't just your typical trench coat. It does have more voluminous sleeves. It is roomier through the body. I will say though, I do think that this is a better style for people who are taller, because there is quite a lot of fabric and it is one size fits most. So if you are petite, then you may find that this is a lot of fabric and it overwhelms your frame. If you love wearing lots of fabric, being swathed in fabric, even as a petite, then go for it. If you've had your eye on this, you'll probably still love it anyway, but that is probably really just my kind of feedback on it. I love the little buckle detail on the sleeves as well, and then the fact that the buttons are in that dark brown with the branding on it. You can see there's a lot of attention to detail here, fully lined. I mean, this is a really quality jacket, and this is my second year with it, so it's going to be a favorite that'll be in my wardrobe for a very long time. Most worn coat is no longer available, sadly. It's from Manso Gabrielle, and they stopped doing apparel back in either 2020 or 2021, and I was really sad to see that, actually, because their cashmere sweaters were beyond. They were so beautiful. I mean, their accessories are lovely too, but their clothing was something else. It was very luxurious. So this is a 100% wool coat, and it is double face, so you don't have the interior lining, which makes it feel very luxurious, kind of in that same vein of Max Mara. It does have a really long silhouette, and I like that as someone who is taller, but also I just find that longer coats really suit me as well. It adds this really nice vertical line which gives you visual length, and that's something I'm often seeking. I also like the fact that the actual design is a little bit more dramatic with the button placement quite lower down, so it almost feels like the coat has been stretched down. I've talked about this before about how much I love it, how the quality is held up so well. I'm gonna link some alternatives. I feel like Everlane has a pretty good one. Maybe I saw one on the Quince website if you're in America. And there was another brand too which did one that was a little bit sharper. It had more of a tailored fit, but it kind of reminded me a lot of this in terms of the other details. So definitely options if you do want something similar to this. So can't go wrong. Black coat goes with absolutely everything. Then final accessories, we've got my most worn shoes, the Greta Mary Janes from Madewell. So again, these are actually in the same chocolate raisin color as the tote that I shared before. I love these because the leather is really nice and soft. It's actually worn incredibly well, and I can't see any scuffs on the shoes. Again, I've worn these so many times because quite often I'll put these on in the morning, especially when I'm doing daycare drop off, because they are so comfortable. The elastic means that they stay on my feet. They're not about to slip off, and they are cut quite wide across the foot too, which I appreciate someone who does have wider feet and a bunion. I have never gotten a single blister wearing these. I can't speak to the leather quality of the other colors. Quite often what you'll find with a brand is that you can have a style which in one fabrication it is done extremely well, or it's incredibly durable, and another fabrication it is more delicate, and you will find variations in different colors and different textures. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. And if you do live near a Madewell, maybe it's worth going and seeing these shoes in real life if you want to kind of assess the quality and see how they feel. But the leather itself has actually softened up quite a lot since I started wearing them, but they're a great shoe and one that I've been reaching for a lot through spring too, and probably end up wearing in summer as long as it's not super hot. I have these in the US 10, and I would say that actually the 9.5 would have been better for me as someone who is a European 40 or usually a US or AU 9. So yeah, those most worn shoes, they are just, they're brilliant. Finally, let's chat through my most worn sunglasses, which are from View. And I really love the concept behind this brand and also the luxury that comes with a pair of their sunglasses. They are really robust, really well made, and they also do a limited run as well. So when you purchase a pair of their sunglasses, so these ones here, it says that they are number 37 of 100. So there's only 100 pairs of these that were made, and then that's it. Sometimes they will do additional colors of a style, but you know that you are getting something that is not going to be everywhere. It's not going to be ubiquitous. And it's fascinating actually, because I saw a brand email come into my inbox and it said something like 200,000 people can't be wrong. The second I saw that, I thought, but I don't want to be wearing the same thing as 200,000 other people. That was the first thought that I had. And so it was interesting, you know, that brands are using, you know, we've got 200,000 5-star reviews. But to me, that was actually a little bit off-putting, because you want to be unique to some degree, even if you are wearing similar styles to your peers or your social group. But yeah, very stunning sunglasses. This is the Bayonne style. I have the olive color. If they do have any left, I will link it down below. But this brand in general, even the unboxing experience feels quite luxurious as well. And it's a reminder you don't really have to go out and buy designer sunglasses. You can actually get that entire experience just buying more of a boutique sunglass brand instead. But yeah, that is my most worn item wrap up for winter. I hope that you enjoyed that. This gave you some insights as well about the things that I'm thinking about when it comes to my wardrobe, and so that you can critically analyze your own closet. I will also actually link Index down below, and I did a whole video on how to digitize your wardrobe and make it feel less intimidating, which might also be useful. But yeah, thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. If you want to see more closet analysis, more styling videos, how to maximize your own wardrobe, and also brand reviews, I would love for you to subscribe, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you soon. Bye.